Mars and Leo. We're going to talk about Leo, Mars and Leo, man and the woman. But let me tell you, with Mars and Leo, Lord, give us strength. Mars and Leo, I just can't describe it. The words leave me. And I'm not being biased because I'm all Leo. No, this is a combination that here we have Mars literally standing still. Now remember, the sun is a fixture, a fixed anomaly in space, a ball of fire. It stands stationary. It doesn't move. As above, so below. The personality of the Leo man and the Leo female is that of centered stillness. Just like the sun is still, all the planets move around the sun. The sun doesn't move, it stands still. That physical description of the sun being still in the heavens has an earthly counterpart. As above, so below. And that physical counterpart is that the Leo man or the Leo woman is self-centeredly arrogant. Just like the sun is arrogant because it burns with hydrogen. And you can see that light even in Pluto. Well, remember, all the planets are in the same platform for the exception of Pluto. Pluto is 17 degrees below space. And even there, you can see the sun of Leo. So you cannot escape that ball of fire. Even if it's a speck of fire, we know it's in our solar system. And we can define our star system by it. So that psychology of stillness you see in the Leo man and the Leo woman when they are so self-absorbed, so caught up in their own world, in their own reality, in their own self-reflection, in their own bias, that they notice, sense, or perceive nothing or anyone outside of their own psychology. And this is the definition of narcissism. We can say that the sun is narcissistic because in our anthropological history, all the planets were once burning stars, but they're not no more. The one that's a burning star is the sun, and nothing will outpass or usurp or outshine the sun. So in a sense, the sun is arrogant. The sun is asserting its light upon the 7 or 9 other planets. But it does this without knowing because the sun is so into herself, that they don't know that there are other planets outside of itself because the light is so big and so strong that they are blinded from within and from without. This is a parallel that we can ascribe to the psychology of the Leo man and the Leo woman. But this psychology is not apparent or obvious when you have planets in Leo, for the exception of Mars. With Mars in Leo, you get to witness the stillness of the personality born with Mars in Leo. This person is unfrappable, unmovable, unshakable. Like the sun can't move, won't move. Well, the person's inner constitution and inner sense of pride and self-importance is like the sun, which doesn't move. This person will not second guess himself or think less of himself, and certainly not let anyone else define him or her. And this is a parallel analogy of stillness. Stillness within your own poise, within your own position. And nobody gonna tell me shit. because I'm my own law of being. And that defines Mars in Leo. You answer to no one. You follow your own law of being. If you want to work at night and sleep in the day, you can. If you don't want to pay the credit card bills that I do, you don't have to. You pay the next month. You pay the interest charges. Fuck it. The Leo man and woman is very self-governed. You got to understand that about Leo. And nothing that anyone can tell you as a Leo man or as a Leo woman that will make them sway to your opinion. It is fixed fire, like the ball in space of fire. And fire purifies. Fire is a dangerous element. It purifies. You're gonna come against fire, then you better have your loins about you. And Mars is the god of war. And when it's in Leo, the god of Aries will fight on behalf of the king. So these people with Mars and Leo can be public defenders, defenders of the underdog, the underprivileged, or of principle, hold themselves with high dignity, sometimes more than the sun sign Leo. And that's a beautiful thing. The sun and Leo represents the ego because Leo represents personality. It is the lower nature of the human evolution. There is a higher level of personality. There's a low personality, there's a high personality. The high personality will always seek to align with the soul. The lower level of the Leo personality will align with the passing trends and waves that allows the low personality nature of the Mars and Leo person to seek attention and seek praise and be seen as the center and corner of culture of everything. And without it, the person feels worthless and feels nothing. Don't feel valuable or effective. That's the lower nature of the lower personality of Mars in Leo or the sun sign in Leo. Whereas the polarity, the opposite polarity of that, the higher level of function of personality in that same sign or with those aspects will know itself, love itself, and seek to improve itself. Again, Leo, Virgo, self-improvement. Head in that direction. Because everything evolves linearly. And once you align the higher personality with the need to improve and be a better person and evolve, then you're tapping into the more positive, higher function of the personality of Mars and Leo, or even the sun sign of Leo. Because Leo in astrology represents the ego and the expression of personality. Personality is at its strongest in Leo. It is at its weakest, almost non-existent, in Capricorn, the sign of character over personality. Character shall always win over personality. And this is why Leo is number 5 and Capricorn is number 10. In Capricorn, we have the perfected Leo energy. Where now there is dignity, pride, and the works of Capricorn to show for it and validate it. No false thoughts or false promises with Capricorn. No. So that dignity, that air of dignity and arrogance and meanness that we see in Capricorn begins in Leo, the sign of self-centeredness, bigotry, and autocratic. egocentric views and position in life. So the Mars in Leo effect, like the Carbonaro effect, the Mars in Leo effect is that of stillness. Like the sun is still, but we cannot avoid the sun. And God forbid that we look at it directly, it will hurt us. So too, when you meet someone with Mars in Leo, they appear unmoved, unwavered, unaltered, unencumbered. They radiate, almost like Jupiter in Leo. They exude this wisdom that you know is there, but they won't tell you. And you know that they know, and you know that they won't tell you. But you can fuck with them. It's a very masculine position for Mars. Even in women, in a woman's chart, I know a lot of women with Mars and Leo. And wherever it falls on the horoscope, in relation to the houses, you see this masculine energy come out of this woman, and it's non-expressive. It oozes out silent dignity. Again, the dignity that we see in Capricorn begins in Leo. The love of self. And when it reaches Capricorn, the love of self becomes confident that you are capable of making an impact and changing the world, and no one can tell you any different. That Capricorn will tell you, the devil. That psychology and inner sense of constitution begins in Leo. So when you have Mars in Leo, it's almost like having someone with the sun in Leo. They're quiet. You have to plan activities for them. Or and God forbid you mar their dignity. They come out with a sword, wielding the sword, worse than Aries. And they are extremely autocratic and kind of bigoted and opinionated. And this can be seen in both the lower nature and the upper nature of Mars and Leo. So now, let's look a little deeper. Deeper, deeper. Let's go a little deeper. And yeah, let's go a little deeper. What can I say? Let's begin with the Mars in Leo woman. If a woman has Mars in Leo, she will automatically, without a doubt, attract men who are proud, outgoing, cannot even gaudy. There is going to be a sense of aloofness or dignified confidence in the aura of men that these women find appealing. These women are more inclined, though, to enjoy men who possess a rather bold, confident manner and style, to the point of arrogance. Now, playfulness and fun are very important to these women, too. But the forcefulness and the ability to protect will always be paramount with these women born with Mars and Leo. And the men who are uptight or overly serious is not going to do well with this type of woman, nor will she be interested in this type of man. These women do want their men to be a little bit possessive and jealous, yes, as it makes them feel more alive, wanted, and attractive. Don't be surprised if the Mars in Leo woman puts you in a position where you may have to fight. And that'd be fucked up. And there are women that will do this and put a man in a position where he might have to defend himself. And it could be dangerous. The Leo woman will seek this type of attention from her man and may even create scenarios where he will have to fight for her honor. The Mars and Leo woman, or the Leo woman in general, can be a very dangerous woman. Especially if she's insecure and she has not reached her prime, and where there is a sense of individuation and self realization, and through the process of growing up, learning, or just learning by trial and error. Because one of the things that a lot of astrologers don't talk about when it comes to Leo, particularly the Leo woman, is that she learns through experience. You really can't talk to this woman and advise her. She knows all the answers. She has all the answers. So when you're dealing with a woman like that, with Mars and Leo, any woman with this combination, you're going to deal with a woman who is probably not going to have a lot of dates. And if she has dates with men, she ends up fighting with them, or they end up fighting with her. Mars and Leo women can be treated very badly by men. Because you have to understand that Mars is a masculine planet and Leo is a masculine sign. So you got double masculine here. So when you have a woman that is sexy and as hot as that, and she comes across with masculine energy, especially in the psychological sense of how men approach things, it can be off-putting and a turn-off to the men with women with Mars and Leo. Because like Cardinal Libra, the Leo woman or the Mars and Leo woman thinks like a man! A man! These are masculine fire signs, masculine air. So she's gonna see the bullshit. But if you're cute, she'll play with you, tantalize you, get all she wants from you. Not that she's gonna take it from you, because as a Leo woman, or Mars a Leo woman, you're gonna volunteer it to her. Because that's the kind of a lower magnetism that she has on men. And you're gonna fall for it because you're designed to fall for it. Who can say no to the Leo woman or that signature found in any woman's chart, regardless of whether she's a Leo or not. Right? So understand that with Mars and Leo, these women want a man that is passionate, aggressive, sensual, and sexual, both. And she wants to be stimulated outside of her own stimulation from the men in her life to spark her on a journey of further self-discovery. So in many ways, men for her are a bridge to her own inner resources. Because the Leo woman or the Mars and Leo woman sometimes, and of course we're talking below age 30. Above age 30 is a different story. She may not be confident enough to understand that she has a commanding presence about her. And this commanding presence will make the sun and the moon and the stars bow down to her. But this is a wisdom that is not going to be known or acknowledged openly, especially if you are below age 30. When you're above age 30, things become a little bit more um, clear, especially if you have people in your life that love you and are willing to assist you in your evolution. Right? But the Mars in Virgo woman does need a little bit of help and being encouraged to act, because it's not that she doesn't know and that she doesn't understand or has the confidence and the assurance, but it's a question of when to act. And that here is where the Mars and Leo woman might falter. Okay? And another point, the Leo woman tends to be successful, self-assured, and at times more than a little flamboyant, but no more so than a queen who has the right to be flamboyant and regal and all that. Who's going to say no to the queen? So understand that Leo represents the king, right? Right? The crown, the king. Leo represents the crown, the king, or the queen. It's still the same crown. And when you have that crown, that means that you are on top of everything and you are the head. And it's very interesting that because Leo is not a cardinal sign, but yet it holds a cardinal position as king that's supposed to exude all wisdom of all kinds and of every kind. And that is absolutely true. But when it comes to self-knowledge, self-analysis, the Leo woman or the Martian Leo woman can be an amateur therapist, and she can say things to help you, and oh my God, better than a fucking licensed psychotherapist, because Leo is the sign of the therapist, in case you didn't know. But the one that perfects it is Virgo, the sign of the analysis. But it begins in Leo. It begins in Leo, and it culminates in Scorpio. And the midpoint is Virgo. Interesting, because the sign of balance, which is a midpoint itself, is Libra, and Libra is not, doesn't hold that position. It's Virgo, but it begins in Leo. So understand that, and all of these nuances and knowledge of what you want in a man and how you want a man to act and what you require and what your needs are. These things are not openly discussed by the Leo woman or the Leo or the Mars and Leo woman. Doesn't discuss it. You have to pry out of her because she has no sense of self-reflection. Not that she can discuss openly. Remember, Leo is not. Oh, keep biting my tongue. Leo is number 5 in the zodiacal wheel. So it still has a lot to learn. It's the adolescent. And the energy is beautiful, but the knowledge just hasn't caught up yet. Okay? So aside from having said all of that, she's oh my God, she's attracted to attractive men, adventurous men, lovers who share the stage with her, psychologically and non, as long as they don't try to steal the spotlight. Her sexual powers will keep a man's bilirubin going, smiling. Sex is an adventure. No, there's an adventuresome spirit that's connected to sexuality. But here's what you don't do. Don't ask her and don't make her have kinky sex. She could if she wants to. And if she loves you and you want to, she'll do it. But you cannot force her or coax her or suggest it to her. She's a little funny when it comes to sex. She's the type of woman that likes to see a man go through all his emotional expletives and screamings and pantings and moaning. She loves that. She loves to see the man go through all his sexual metamorphoses as he's having sex with her. She likes to be the observer because Leo is the sign of the peeping Tom, and the voyeurism falls under Leo. So there's a little bit of a voyeuristic sense with her. She's the type of man that will look at a man taking a shower and masturbate while he's taking a shower while he doesn't know it. Like you see in the porno movies. You know? She is her sexual delights she likes to keep to herself. And that can add a little bit of problem. A couple of issues. How are you, Mr. Williams? That can add a little bit of problem, a couple of issues down the road, down the line. Okay? And this occurs, of course, with women that are much younger, below age 30. Okay? So she will. One thing about her is that she's not going to live with tyranny. She's not going to live with a man who's abusive or a tyrant. Now, the paradox is that she is likely to be that tyrant. She don't want to be a tyrant, but she can be a fucking tyrant and not own it. Little women know that they deserve the best of everything and aren't afraid to sample at many kinds of varieties when on the prowl for true love. They don't deny themselves anything. But this sign is also very paradoxical. Because although she may want a man who is confident and powerful, she might only date men who are popular or guys that are jocks. Oh, little women love jocks and sports guys, men, boys, because they're easy to control. There's a method to her madness. I guess it's true about of most women. They like a man that's kind of like a little boy inside because they're more easily manipulated. And sexually, they might be more in tune than men who are more austere and mature and seasoned. It's a theory. There's certainly more energy with the younger guys than with the older guys. But that's also relative, and that's changing. I'm in my 50s, and I got more energy than someone in his 20s. And that's happening with men my age. And the world is changing. Age and the appropriateness that we give age and different levels of life, all that's changing. All that is crumbling with the Piscean age. You got young people that act like old men. You got old men that act like fucking rabbits. So, our world is morphing and evolving and changing. The rigid cornerstones of behavior and the right way to be and the right way not to be, all that is falling apart as it should be because we're entering the Aquarian age. We're already here. The precipitation of the destruction of the Piscean age has to happen before the Aquarian age can cement itself in. Right? So this is where we're going at. With Mars in Virgo in a man's chart, with Mars in Leo in a man's chart and in a woman's chart, that it is so distinctly different, that it's like night and day. Okay. The Leo woman or the Mars and Leo woman loves competition. They love the opportunity to display how great they are at something. They can do well in any sport, but learning to be a team player is something that they don't seem to want to be bothered with. No? They just love getting the attention. They love the spotlight, the applause, the basic ABCs. I don't go into the basics because you know the basics, No, they truly work very hard and wanting to make a name for themselves and be that catch where a man can want them and want nobody else but them. Now, again, there's a lot to say about Mars and Virgo. Complexity here is a bitch. But we have done 30 minutes instead of 25 minutes. So unfortunately, before they cut me, I'm going to stop here. But if you're born with Mars and Mars in Leo, as a woman or man, know that you need to be charted because there's a lot to say and there's a great complexity here. And we're done with part one.